some materials? Sending out another me. Damn, he's good looking.
What up, what up, what up, what up, what up? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this edition of Motivational Monday. In a world when shit's fucked up, your day doesn't go well all the time, there's still love and goodness. This is the stream for you. Remember to stay positive. Remember, no matter how much life smacks you in the face, kicks you while you're down, if you can look up, you can get up. Let's fucking go! Happy Motivational Monday, y'all. Thanks for coming through. Appreciate you here. My boy Jahan sent me this fucking track on Spotify. Motivational compilation, okay? The crazy part is I was like, yo, I got this shit in my list to use for Motivational Monday. I got a whole playlist on my YouTube channel that I have been throwing stuff and siphoning stuff into there so that I can use for these occasions. So I greatly appreciate you, Jay. It's crazy that we're on that wavelength, bruh. It's crazy. You guys rock. Jahan, you're fucking awesome. In case you didn't know that, I gotta let you know that. Where the fuck is my stream that I hear myself? That's what I'm saying. I hear echo. ¿Por qué yo estoy girando un eco? We lower the music a little bit. Where the fuck am I that I'm hearing myself? Muted. Kick.
Kick is muted. Kick is muted. Ah. Haha. I didn't realize I had my my Twitch channel open on my desktop. I separated it so I can do some editing on the clips from the last. No, it's escuchando. Well, escúchame. I don't care. I speak me language. Broken Spanglish. I speak a broken gamer. What we got here? I got some whispers. I don't. Your content makes sense and it's very interesting. From what I saw, people are not engaging. I mean, they're not turning on. What's the reason, friend? Really? Really? You're asking me what the reason is? I don't fucking know. Go ask them. Find them. Find the people who come to my stream and then leave or don't come back. I know a lot of people do follow for follow. That could be some of it. Because I don't follow unless I go and I look at their shit and I like it. Because I'm not going to follow you if I don't fuck with your content or you personally. Well, not personally, but you know what I mean. If I don't vibe with you and the shit you're putting out. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. But yeah. Motivational Monday's full effect. I'm going to be doing some content editing while I'm here with you guys. Why do I have fucking so many of these open? Let's get rid of that. I don't need you. I don't need you open. All right, bet. So I got my Kick and my YouTube, my Twitch open so I can check out the words. What's up, Precious? Nice game with astonishing content. Keep it up. Thank you. I noticed something on your channel that I think needs to be addressed. Okay, and be amended. I'd love to chat with you. Hey, I greatly appreciate that. But there's no need for you to do it through a Discord or go anywhere else. Just hit me up. Just get in the whisper. Or send me a message over on TikTok, over on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch. Not me. Thank you for coming through. And if you do see something that could help out, I'd love to hear about it. I'm always looking for ways to get myself elevated, make myself better for everybody who does come to chill at the stream. Let me know what's up. Don't be scared. I won't bite. I'm gonna get the stream going here with the motivational thing. Just remember to be positive for everybody today. When you interact with people, you never know what they're going through at any given time. They might just be having a bad day, or they just might be having a rough patch in their life. Just say hi. Let them know they've seen. Let them know that you, a perfect stranger, sees them and acknowledges them and sees that they're alive. Don't be afraid to just give a head nod and a smile during the day. Don't be afraid to go talk to somebody. If you see them having a tough time, maybe they'll be receptive. Maybe they won't. That's their choice. But just let them know, hey, it'll be all right. It'll be all right. Let's get the motivational words going. Let's get this beautiful piece of content going. I'm going to step away for 2 seconds while it's playing because I do have dinner going. I'm trying to figure out if there's a way for me to seamlessly go from the OBS on my computer, since I'm not going to carry that camera with me, to the OBS on my phone that's linked to it and set that camera to go. Actually, I should be able to, right? Mobily tell it to be a source so that way if I got to get up and go around the house, I can grab my phone, take you guys with me, and still see the chat and still talk to y'all. I'm going to work on that, and I'm going to get to that. Thank you. This Motivational Monday is part of the reason it had to happen, was so that I can make that realization, write that idea down, and sort that out to see if there is a way to do it. Because, not for nothing, I love it here, and I love being in front and in my studio, in front of my computer, my TV, everything. But man, I got shit I got to do too. You know what I'm saying? So I don't mind taking y'all with me. I just want to be mobile with y'all. But enough about me. How are you doing today? Everybody check in. If you're down in the chat, if you're watching me on Kick, YouTube, Twitch, or Facebook, let me know where you're at today. Scale of 1 to 10. Where's your headspace? Where's your feelings? Where's your emotions? Scale of 1 to 10. You a 1 down in the dumps? You a 10 high on life, riding it out, letting the universe unfold as it should for you and receiving it. You embracing it? You making somebody else's day better? That it doesn't matter where you are on the scale. I just want to know. I just want to know. Because that might be today's vibe if you're in the low scale. That might not be tomorrow's. That might not be later on. If maybe I can help you make a shift real quick, or these words of encouragement, empowerment, wisdom, and reflection can make contact with you and get you pulled up out of that rut in this moment, have you climb up out of that hole, then the rest of the day and the evening can still go better, right? We still got time. 24 hours in a day. We're at hour 4 and 43 minutes of the afternoon, which means we have, by my count, another 7 hours-ish to go. You want to make that 7 hours in the same flow of what your day's been? Or are you ready to change that flow today to make your night even better, to get you ready for tomorrow to be great? Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the comments.
Fruit of everything good in life begins with a challenge. Everything worthwhile is uphill. Your dreams are there, your hopes are there. Most people, they don't lead their life, they accept their life. Here's the issue. Most people, they have uphill hopes, but they have downhill habits. And you can't go uphill with downhill habits.
It's pretty easy to get the mindset that there's nothing you can do about it, that you're overwhelmed,
Be
that
right
you
back.
can't change the world. Well, you know what you can change? You can change you. You can change your world. And if you change your world and you make yourself better and you make your part of the world better, the rest of the world will follow.
Good intentions are overrated. I know so many people, well, I'm going to do that. Yes, I think that's a good idea. I think I'm going to do that. So good intentions are the most overrated phrase in the world. Nothing happens until you've got good actions.
And it's not going to come to you, and it's not going to fall in your lap, and it's not going to be something that, oh my gosh, it just was so simple. It's always going to be difficult.
Look, I'd love to sugarcoat this thing for you. I'd love to tell you, look, you can go out here and get rich, do a couple of things, they ain't happen. You got to get real doggish. You got to get downright funky if you want to make it.
Most of you won't be successful because when you're studying and you get tired, you quit. Weakness haunts us all. The times we could have done more. They eat at your self-esteem. They rob you of your self-respect. They diminish your belief in your potential. The true art of a full life is to minimize those moments when your weak thoughts win the battle and maximize your ability to rise and grind. Most of you say you want to be successful, but you don't want it bad. You just kind of want it. You don't want it badder than you want to party. You don't want it as much as you want to be cool. And I'm here to tell you today, if you're going to be successful, rise and grind. If you wanted to happen, get your butt up and make it happen. And sometimes if you're going to be successful, it's not how smart you are. It's not how strong you are. It's how much you can outlast stuff.
Success is not a comfortable procedure. It is a very uncomfortable thing to attempt. So you got to get comfortable being uncomfortable if you ever want to be successful. Start putting some pressure on. Put some pressure on yourself. Get out here and get about it.
Don't cry to give up. Cry to keep going. Don't cry to quit. You already in pain. You already hurt. Get a reward from it.
Some of y'all, you not getting close to the vision. You done said the vision and your mama said something about it, so you done backed off. You done said something about the vision and somebody tried to kill you and you done backed off. Are you hearing what I'm trying to tell you? I'm telling you that you gotta be possessed with the vision.
You want to make your dream come true, you got to stay focused. Some people rather get even than get ahead. Stay focused on where you want to go. I just kept on doing what I was supposed to do.
So you've got to work on it. When other folk are having a good time, you've got to have the strength of character to concentrate, to read, to digest information.
To be able at any moment to sacrifice what you are for what you will become. You have to give it everything you got. No more TV, no more parties, no more playing. What you need to be doing is studying.
While they was golfing, I was studying. While they was shooting hoops, I was studying.
While they was playing games and sitting up and eating and joking in the restaurant, I was studying. You have to put your everything, your mind, your energy, your effort, your discipline. Nothing is going to jump out the fire if you don't throw something in there. It's not going to happen.
I gotta commit my very being to this thing. I gotta breathe it, I gotta eat it, I gotta sleep it.
You gotta begin with the end in mind. So whatever your dream or your goal is, you gotta wake up every day to it. You gotta go to bed with it. You gotta read stuff. The music you listen to, everything you do gotta pour into that dream.
You gotta stay focused on your dream. Don't allow anyone to pull you off the game plan.
When they're having fun, you grind. When they're chilling, you work your ass off. When they're getting lit, you put in more work. And when they're wishing for a better lifestyle, you'll be living it.
All right, let me pull up my YouTube here so you guys can get a video here. That was just the audio verds. The audio verds. Get out of here. You lower here. I don't need you open. Why do I have so many of these open, bro? Jesus. Wait a second. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Okay, so that's there for that. This is okay. So now I need my YouTube. Where's my YouTube? I had my YouTube ready to go. What the fuck happened? I swear I was prepared. I swear it was. I swear by the moon and the stars in the sky, I'll be there. I'll be there. I swear. For better or
Make
worse,
sure you're covered.
Till death do us part.
If you do the thing in spite of being fearful of doing the thing, that is courage. And if you don't do the thing, even though you felt like doing the thing, that is cowardice.
When you come out of the storm, you won't be the same person that walked into it. That's what the storm is all about. When you can't control what's happening to you, control how you respond to it. That's where your power is.
You're going to work hard and nothing's going to happen. You're going to give it your all and nothing's going to happen. You're going to pour your heart out into it and nothing is going to happen. And the hardest part is that it might go on for weeks, months, years even. And you might sit there wondering, when is this going to pay off? How much more do I have to bear? How much longer do I have to walk? You look at the world and say, you said 1 more lap 3 laps ago. You said 2 more reps 5 reps ago. But you must endure. You say, I can't make it to that next corner. I gotta walk 1 more street light. My legs might give out if I give this 1 more step. But you must endure.
Consistency is not the problem, it's the discipline. Making the choice to do the thing that is going to serve you in the long term rather than what's going to serve you right now. Delayed gratification, discipline. Everybody's consistent. Most people are just consistent in the wrong things.
But I'll tell you a secret. If your dreams go too long without becoming a reality, they slowly morph into nightmares.
Whew! That's a big one right there. I just put up a post on TikTok today. Basically says if you believe in yourself and you believe in something, never quit. Never stop. You know what I'm saying? That's a big one right there. So it's gonna be tough to follow your dreams. Trust me. Trust me, I know. Trust me, a lot of you probably know. You probably tried it a couple times, got scared, got nervous, thought, fuck, it's not working. It's not happening fast enough. Stay at it. Stay at it. If doing things like, working your 9 to 5, coming home and then working on it is the way for you because of the safety and security and all that stuff that it provides to you, do it, but don't quit. Remember to leave yourself with some energy at the end of the day for you, so that you can go 5 to 9, like Gary Vee likes to say, and worry about you. And then at some point, you're going to start realizing that you don't want to just do 5 to 9. Now you want to do 5 to 10, 5 to 11, 5 to 12, 5 to 1. Because that sacrifice in time, rest, but the rest is important. Don't do it too much. Don't burn yourself out. But if you can get past that mental blockage that occurs when you're striving and you're working towards something, that's when you level up. That's when you get to the next stage of greatness. You get to be able to unlock that door of that opportunity that might be knocking there for you. That's when you might be able to swing that door open. So stay focused. Work. Get through it. Push past what you normally think is your limit. What you always felt was your limit. What you feel like is your limit that your mind is telling you or your body's telling you at that moment. Find a way to dig a little bit deeper. Go Goku on that shit. Go Deku from My Hero Academia. If you're into anime, you know what I'm talking about. Go Kobe Bryant on it. Go LeBron James. Go Michael Jordan on it. And push and spend more time in that gym. Not physically, but if you're working on something, you're working towards it, keep growing. If part of your journey means you got to work at the gym and you got to get on it, then get on it. Stay attached. Don't be worried about that failure, because it's not a failure. It's an opportunity for you to realize where you fucking made a mistake, where you can push past, or how to push past, or the fact that you aren't pushing past because you're in your head, because that image that keeps rolling, those words that keep swirling are there and it's holding you back. But then at that point, we got to have the accountability to be able to look at ourselves and go, shit, I'm doing it to myself. Work it, push it, breathe it, live it, eat it, sleep it. Don't give up. You have no other option. Don't give up.
Of what could have been. And we all know people, this is true, who they firmly believe that their best days are behind them and that their future is dimmer than their past. And that's a terrible way to live. But what I'll tell you is the only way to turn your dreams into reality is to combine it with action. So it's not just about thinking big. That's great, that's a first step. But then you have to act big. If you want to live the life of your dreams, you have to act big.
In the midst of the storm, a lot of people feel like, man, I lost this. I lost that. But when you come out of the storm, the perspective that you gain, the person that you have become, right? The happiness that you gain, the joy, the peace that you gain, right? You always gain something in spite of what you consider to be a loss.
You have to take that time. You have to earn that shot, earn that opportunity. And when you earn it, you'll make the most of it because you put in the work, you wrote down the goals, you made it a part of your discipline, and now it's a part of your fiber. You're cut from a different cloth. Don't allow yourself to be draped around something that can't appreciate you. You're expensive. It costs a hell of a lot to make you. Don't sell yourself cheap.
You're having a hard time. Well, guess what? Everybody has hard times. You, me, and everybody else. We all deal with shit that we'd rather not be dealing with. And there's two kinds of people that have hard times. There's the kind of people who go through hard times and then eventually they find their way to prosperity. And there's people who have hard times and just stay there and spin their wheels in the hard times for the rest of their lives. And it's one simple thing that decides which one of those people you're going to be. And it's this. The people who go on to prosper stop when they're having the hard time and they ask themselves a very simple question. What is this situation supposed to teach me? And then when they find the answer to that, they apply that lesson moving forward. And the people who wallow, and the people who become victims, and the people who suffer their entire lives don't do that. So do it.
See, the only time that we realize how far we can go is when we push beyond that limit that we stopped at before. You are capable of so much more than you realize, but you stop short because your mind tells you to stop, but your body can go on for more and more.
God damn! What did I just say? What did I just say? Man, oh man. Little things like this just make me understand. Doing streams like this. Just feels good. It just feels right. Makes me feel like, you know what? Maybe I am more. Maybe my head space is just jumbled with a bunch of mess and I'm finally sorting it out. There's a lot of influence out there. Social media, scrolling, and all that stuff. I'm really, really starting to like the idea and the notion that my streams can become something like this that helps filter out, let's get rid of, and kind of remold ourselves to not let those things be distractions with all the ratchetness, with all the bullshit, with all the Jada Pinkett's, with all the, conflict, all the clout chasers, all the people that feed on chaos. I'm really, really liking that I have a platform here, although not large, but it's still something that I can use to help people and better myself and better them as well on the way. I can reflect upon while watching these streams later. I can edit and grab clips and gems and bits to offer up on other platforms to spread the words, the message, the encouragement, the guidance. And then we can all do it for each other. That's dope. It's fucking dope. And this is what people mean about finding like-minded individuals and friends, colleagues, associates, collaborators, family that understand and have not necessarily the exact same vision or notion of what life is and the journey, but that's why it's like-minded. It's not the same. It's like-minded. Similar, but still different. And that's the beauty of humanity. Similar, but different. Yeah. Yeah. Let's keep going.
You are capable, and when your body gives out, your mind wants to go on for longer. You are the one in control. You are the one who has the power to say, I want to stop here or I want to keep going.
Johnson, why are you naked? Because my t-shirt sucks. Look at Gibson. He's wearing a true classic tee. It fits him tight in all the right places, but leaves the perfect amount of room in the front. God, I hate that guy.
Commercials on YouTube.
He looks.
Put down your why. It's what will motivate you when you don't feel like it. Days in the gym will come and go and you'll feel like, I've done enough, I'm too sore. I'm still not over an injury. There will be days where you feel like not getting up and going because motivation isn't always there. But you have to absolutely talk to yourself and convince yourself that your why is big enough to give you the passion, to get over the pain, to get on with the plan. And then you got to get over your old excuses.
Half the time there are circumstances and events that occur. And I know not everybody wants to hear it, but we bring them about ourselves. Whether it's through actions, words, lack of action, lack of words, lack of thinking, lack of the trying to understand, involving ourselves with certain people, friends, family, relationships, and we get what we ask for. And then another part of it is always sometimes we're so hard on ourselves and we're so in our heads and we so use perceptions of others and influence and shit to draw this picture then that we of self-doubt, and that's the world we start to live in. We don't believe we can do it. I mean, you hear people talk all the time about things like imposter syndrome. It's real. But it's not that you're an imposter. It's just that you don't see yourself being the true thing. But it's coming from somewhere. There's this innate intuition that everybody has that eventually it comes out. It has to. So when you start a new journey, when you start a new project, when you start a new family, a new relationship, you got to understand that people are going to see things in you that you necessarily may not see. You might think you see it and you might think you believe it, but you have this feeling that makes you feel the opposite. And that's what makes you feel like you're being an imposter. And right there, again, in all of those words that I said, from before to now, I always keep saying the word you. I'm not talking about just you. I'm also talking to me because I get to watch this later. So me, you cause things sometimes. You are sometimes the reason. Your reactions, what you say, how you say it, the things you think cause you sometimes to not be to your full potential. But guess what? Here goes that word over and over and over again. You. Now, I'm not saying that the things and the situations and people's actions are all your fault or all your problem. But half the time, how you react and how you handle them and what you do is usually because of you perceiving it a certain way and thinking about things a certain way. So if you're always perceiving and thinking about things in that certain way, because we're used to it, we're programmed by in all the different things we've experienced in our life, the things we've seen, the old lessons we had, there's only one person that it all comes back to at the end of the day. And that's us. That's you. Just remember to tell yourself, I love you. Remember to tell the other people around you, I love you. Who knows what that'll do?
50% of men and women cannot or will not look at themselves in the mirror because they are either disgusted or disappointed with where they are in life. And if you cannot look at yourself in the mirror, that is an act of self-rejection. That is an act of self-criticism. That is an act of self-hatred. That's not just a casual thing you're doing. The rest of us that can look at ourselves, what we do when we look at ourselves is we focus on the things we need to fix. For most women, putting on makeup is not additive. It's not a creative expression. It's covering something up that you don't like. And for so many men, if it's not about your appearance, it's about where you are in life, the mistakes that you've made. That action, that intention behind it is self-rejection.
I know a lot of you out there, you've lost your voice. And I want to speak to you to tell you that even if you decide from hearing from others that they told you that you cannot speak or what you say doesn't matter, you can still speak. I know you can speak because I was speaking all throughout my life inside of me.
A wise person once said, "What surprises me most about humankind is that we get bored of our childhood, rush to grow up, and long to be children again. That we lose our health to make money, and then lose our money to restore our health. That by thinking anxiously about the future, we forget the present."
Who are you? Are you the one who endures? Let's find out. And when you find out that you can endure longer than you thought before, amazing things happen. You realize how powerful you truly are.
Do I have weakness? I am nothing but weakness. I'm not naturally strong or fast or flexible. I'm certainly not the smartest person in the world. I get emotional over stupid things. I eat the wrong foods. I don't sleep enough. I procrastinate and I waste time. I care too much about meaningless things and not enough about important things. My ego is too big. My mind is too small, often trapped inside itself. Now, All that being said, I have a saying. A person's strength is often their biggest weakness, but their weaknesses can become strengths.
Input determines output. Output determines outlook. Outlook determines outcome. Outcome determines destiny.
I want to talk to you if you're going through things in your life. I want to ask you, what are you telling yourself? What are you telling yourself? Are you telling yourself it's all happening to me and it's because why is it happening to me? What did I do wrong? Are you talking to yourself about how it's all happening to you? I wanted to ask you this because it all happened to me as well. And throughout the whole journey, I asked one question to myself every time, every day, every minute. I asked, what am I supposed to learn from all of these things that are happening to me? What is the lesson? Why is this happening to me and what should I learn from it? Are you doing that? Because I tell you, because that's how you get out of what's happening to you. When you ask, why is it happening to me and what am I supposed to learn? Because when you learn from it, you can use it as your superpower to overcome anything that happens to you after that. So I'm asking you, are you asking yourself this?
Once you make that first cold call, you're likely to keep going. Once you start writing that first sentence on this chapter, you're going to keep writing. Once you hit record on that video, on the
I saw war. I saw bombing. I saw shooting.
وجينا روحنا وهي كريهة وبصركوا خير وبصركوا الشباب اقتلاب.
For millions of children, war means displacement, danger, hunger, and fear. Your donation can help families affected by war with food, essentials, and medical care. In war, it's children who suffer the most. Help them today.
The video, you're going to keep going. Once you fill out the first name, last name line on the application you need to fill out, you're going to keep going. Once you pull up your resume template and you start writing, you're going to keep going. Because the problem isn't your ability to do what you need to do. I say every day that it is never too late to wake up and be the person you want to be. And you deserve that. And here's the truth on how you do that. You have to act like you believe in yourself before you believe in yourself. I'm going to say that again. You want to learn how to stop doubting yourself? You want to learn how to believe in yourself again? You want to learn how to not be so afraid or full of doubt? Because again, you have to act like you believe in yourself before you do believe in yourself. So let me just make this super, super detailed for you. When you wake up tomorrow morning and you sit down in that chair, you are acting like you believe in yourself.
When you endure, you show others what's possible. When you continue on and push when you are tired and you feel like your tank is on empty, you inspire and leave a legacy. Leaving that legacy of what humans are capable of. See, it's not about you. It's about everyone that comes after you. It's about the person to your left and the right that needs an example. You are that example, and you become that example because you can endure. You can endure the pain, I promise you can. You can endure the hate, I promise you can. Because when you show that your character is still intact in those moments when you have every reason to abandon it, that right there, my friend, is greatness. You have that greatness within you. You have the greatness to endure. Now go get it.
Yep. Lessons got to be learned. Things have to occur to show you things. Because then imagine if everything was always great, rainbows, and then what would you ever learn? How would you ever grow? You know, you gotta experience things. You gotta get. People say failures, but it's opportunities. People say, yeah, this you can fail at something, and that's not negating, or I'm not gonna downplay the fact that it didn't work out the way you intended, which could technically be looked at as a failure, and that's kind of the definition of a failure. You try something and it doesn't work out, right? But at the same time, you can also look at it from the perspective of growth and learning. You know, you tried something, you wanted to, but just because it didn't work out doesn't mean you can't do it again in a different way, fine tuning it little by little. Think of the strings on a guitar. As they get tighter and tighter, the pitch changes until it's at that perfect pitch, or you can go past that till it breaks. But then you grab another string, you put it right back through that guitar, you put it through the hole at the top, you start turning the tuning knob, and now you know, don't go that far. You go a little lower, go a little lower. There's devices to help you tune to the thing, right? Old school tuning forks resonate at a certain frequency and tone. Then we've evolved. We have electronics now to help us, where you technically can use your phone as a tuner. But then after a while, you become trained without even realizing it, that you learned the right amount of tension that string needs based on the sound that it's making, which is a vibration coming through and hitting your ears. I was in the kitchen thinking about a conversation I had with a buddy of mine today. And, you know, the part about pushing past and doing all that stuff. And then another buddy of mine I had a conversation with about how, especially when you're in service of somebody, you know, whether you're a waiter, a mechanic or body guy, you know, you're a personal trainer, we always try to excel and be as great as we can. And we go and we learn and we go 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 until we keep hitting these pinnacles, and like the quality of this work or service is top level. Sometimes we don't feel like we're getting paid what we should be getting paid. Now, that might be true, but we got to look at why sometimes as well. Sometimes we're trying to do that high top level amount of service for someone whose expectation may not be that, or what they're willing to pay for. So we can't impose that certain standard or certain level that we've achieved on people, on all people, because some people may not be able to afford that type of service or that works, or that, you know, much dedication. Sometimes people can only afford, and I'm using things, for example, from my head, like if you work as a mechanic, or, you know, you always got to make sure your work is top notch, keep people safe, all that stuff. But let's say you're doing something, an artist, let's say you're working on body work, right? Let's say, you know, you're offering some type of service. That's why there's levels and tiers of things in this world, and subscription based stuff, right? There's a low level, mid level, high level. You can't always be working and performing at that high level if your audience, your clientele, or the people you're serving can only afford or needs that level to be lowered, or at the mid level. That's why you offer options. So when we do our jobs to the pinnacle that we can, but we know and expect the person to do that and pay us for that, but we know they can't or they won't, you have to give them what they want and what they can afford, so that we're not wasting extra time and feeling like we're devalued because we did so great of a job, but we didn't get what we deserved for or earned from it. I know that might sound a little weird, but think about it for a little bit. Think about it. We blame things in society and the systems that are in place all the time, but yet we do nothing really to change it unless we become activists, unless we start speaking out, using our right to vote and stuff like that. Now, a lot of people find comfort in knowing the paycheck is consistent. There's benefits behind it, right? They have survival things that they need because they might have a family. They have to provide. That's a life or death situation for a child. The child has no option. The child didn't ask to be brought into this world. Your actions did that. Now, for you to be negligent to the fact of that and just not pay attention to that and not worry about it and be selfish about it, that's where you're screwing up, and now you're causing damage to the kid. Because literally, if you do not provide for that kid, that kid's going to die. Then how would you feel after that, right? So some people latch onto that comfort of a 9 to 5. Some people latch on to the comfort of being their own boss and being an entrepreneur, or using things like Uber and Uber Eats and stuff like that to help provide. Some people use it to supplement and enhance and increase. Some people use it as just their main source. But we can't be mad at the fact that if we're not changing the systems, if we're not changing the way we think, if we don't keep letting ourselves realize that today is a new day and reliving yesterday, or not letting go of the bullshit from yesterday or the mentality of yesterday, and we keep living as the old versions of us instead of embracing and realizing there's a new version out there and this is the start of it today because of the stuff you went through yesterday, then we can't even be mad at the systems in place because they're giving us just what we want. Everybody wants certain levels, certain standards, certain dreams, certain aspirations in life. We go out, we try to achieve them. But if we miss the mark, then we feel like we're failures instead of realizing that now we can learn from the part that we played in missing the mark to now get to that spot. But then we feel safe by the systems that are there, so we run back to it. And I've been there multiple times. I'm doing it right now, so I'm not running back to it. This is why I struggle and fight with certain things, and it causes mayhem sometimes. It causes this, uneasiness. It causes problems at the home every once in a while. But at the same time, when you hit these points where you realize this might be a limit and that's why all this is happening, you can push past that. So we like Jahan said here, he can't be just a 9 to 5 guy. And most people need to realize that that's the truth. We are not 9 to 5 people, period. We're always on. We're always got to be moving. The water current always stays flowing. Our energy keeps continuing, whether we live or we die. The vibrations, the words that we speak, the things we put out, the things we think causes things, causes effects. You may think this is some humble jumbo, but there's things in place that, like AI right now, can generate songs for you based on your thoughts. We got chips now that we can implant to our brains to help deliver information. There's things and influences and, stuff going on. So back to the systems that are in place, they're giving us what we want so that, because most people are afraid to take those risks and stay on the paths so that they know that if that happens, when people feel like they were a failure, there's a safety net there to keep them. You have options to go work a job. You have options to reap those benefits. You have options to get your paycheck and stay consistent. You have options to provide for your family. But then we forget that perhaps we can use that as just a temporary thing while we can work on other stuff in the background and not get lost in the fact that, hey, at least we're getting money and we can create a life that we want. It may not be 100% exactly what I thought because the resources are limited to just what it is. And if I never get promotions or if I don't grow in the job, then for sure it's going to stay plateaued. But that's why the job systems, that's why the workforce and all the things are there like that. And that's why economics are the way they are. It's because there's a lot of people who won't stay on. They waver away from their faith and belief in themselves and let the voices win instead of letting us completely shine and grow past that to be the true selves that we are. People say, and the stories go, we're made in the image of. We're made, right? So if we're not made that way, good and bad happens all the time in the world. Whatever your belief system is, there's always a system of good and bad or an entity of good and bad. If we are that, we're cut from that. Maybe that's how we have to learn to control it, because we have to either be on and stick to being good all the time and make sure we're using good words and watching our actions and all that stuff instead of creating other messes. But we keep getting in our own way. The voices, the swirls, the thoughts. It's going to happen. It's the human condition. Perhaps that's part of the lesson that we got to learn in this life, going through with the physical. Who knows? I don't know what your belief is. I'm just rambling right now, like connecting dots at the same time because of some conversations that I had today. I never really thought of it like that, especially for economics, the workforce and all that stuff, until just now. I was in the kitchen chopping up some onions and peppers. And I was thinking about how grateful I am that today was a new day. How I'm able to cut this food up and make this food for my lady. there's a lot of things that happen and a lot of stuff in this world that seems like it's out of our control. But as I keep watching videos like this and listening to other people who are disconnected from the matrix, so to speak, those are kind of the realizations that I'm finding. That it's us who decides if we get plugged and stuck. It's us who decides the path based on our actions, our words, our thoughts. It's a lot to take in at times. It's crazy to think about, even to me, and I'm uttering the words. But I hope that at some point somebody can see this and maybe start drawing their own conclusion. Even if you find fallacies in the notions that I'm talking about, even if you find fallacies in the words that are being spoken on these videos and these tracks, there's always truths in things as well. Even if you find fallacies, if you find a false in something, there's always a truth in something. I forgot who it was that said it, but somebody said the world is full of half-truths and half falsities. It's all about perspective, and we hear that all the time. So your perspective and thought on success is different than mine, but that's okay. But if you look at situations and you start to wonder why or how one person, and you're comparing yourself to them, which you shouldn't, you just need to be better than you every day, how they're doing it or how it worked out for them, the only thing you got to do is look at yourself and look within and take a look at what actions you did, and then you can compare to what actions they took, and then you can see if that might work for you too, or how you can change that to work for you to get the same outcome, because we're all different. We're all alike. We're all similar, but we're all different. So thanks again to my homies like Jahan. Thanks to Mick Manhattan. Thank you to Dreams the Creator, Sir Sturdy. Shit, Trip M now, 21 coming through. Dragon Blee, G Father, my boy Willie Short, aka 5th Gen Productions. Thank you to all of you. Thank you to my cousin, Fred. Thank you to my girl, my wifey, Danae. Even through the hard. You stick around and you're still showing me, and you all have impacted me somehow in my life. So thank you. And I'm glad I got another day today, so I can record this message. And then I'll be able to play it back later. But at least hoping that someone else needs to hear the same thing. Maybe you're feeling exactly the same way I am. Maybe you have been. I don't know why today turned out the way it did. I don't know why I had the conversations that I had. I don't know why this piece of content's playing today. But it happened. And everything happens as it should. Just remember, it's all going to be okay. Just play your part. Play your part. It's important. Super important. Yeah, gamers are softy sometimes. The funny toxic gamer can be soft and deep. It happens. Don't forget to cheerlead for yourself and recognize the things you do that are so great every day that we take for granted and we don't realize we're doing something great. Just the fact that you won the lottery of your life and you're able to make it to however far it is in your life and your journey that it is or is going to be. That's the start of the greatness every day. Every day. That's the start of your greatness. Hustle hard, love hard. Hold those that love you, who appreciate you, who show you they're worth their time. that got you, that are rocks in your life, that have taught you a lesson or loved you enough to tell you the truth, no matter how hard it hurt, no matter how much you didn't want to hear it. Embrace it. Be grateful for it. Don't complain about the bullshit. Say thank you for the bullshit. If your life doesn't change little by little and you stick to that, if you don't let it out, if you don't cry, if you don't scream, if you don't smile, you don't laugh, you don't share love and positivity all the time, we can't be mad at what we get. We can't be mad at the creation that we're having made before our eyes in the life that we live. Because it's on us. Because it's on us. It's on all of us. It's on you. It's your responsibility. It is the gift that you were given to be able to breathe. Go through it. Don't avoid it. Embrace it. Feel it. Move with it. Go past it. But don't get stuck in the loop. Grow. Evolve. Change. For you. For the world. For the next generation. One step at a time, day by day, brick by brick. Cut by cut, nick by nick, bruise by bruise. Broken bones. Broken hearts. Shattered minds. You know what's the best part about that, and one of the greatest things I learned about being a mechanic, is that when things go wrong and things break, it can always be fixed. It can always be put back together. It can always be broke down, looked at to find out what the piece is that went wrong, have that taken out, put a new one in, and have it run just the way it was supposed to again. Don't be afraid to do that with yourself. Don't. It's what we're supposed to be doing. It really is. It really is. God, this is a Motivational Monday today. Fuck. I'm not mad at it. I'm not feeling bad for it. I'm not ashamed right now. I'm not embarrassed. This is probably one of the realest I've ever been with a lot of people, or even myself at times, and I do this quite often lately. And this is part of it. This is part of that journey. You're going to have your opinions, and I get that. Some people might say, oh, you're depressed. I'm not. Not anymore. I got past all of that, which is why I'm able to get on camera and talk and be vulnerable. I've reflected. I've learned. I've hurt. I've cried. I've smiled. I've laughed. And I got a lot more of that to do for the rest of my life. So do you. So do you. Whether the rest of your life is tomorrow, 100 years from now, so do you. That's why they say live in the moment. Make it count. And I'm realizing that now. I'm finally truly realizing that and understanding that. That's part of why the tears are flowing. I would always say it before, think it, and then it'd be fleeting thought because of circumstances, because of the unwavering mindset, or the wavering mindset, I should say, because selling myself short. But I tell you right now, I'm going to have moments of weakness, but they're not going to be as many as they ever were in my life. Not from this point on, because I have all of that lessons. I have all of those teachings. I'm taking the tests. And thank you for being out there listening if you need this or if you find this. Because you're one of the reasons why it's created. And that's a big deal to me. Thank you.
You should be a monster. Because everyone says, well, you should be harmless. You don't want to be too aggressive. You don't want to be too assertive. You want to take a back seat. No. You should be a monster. And then you should learn how to control it.
The definition of being aggressive is forceful and sometimes overly assertive pursuit of one's aims. In combat,
And Jim, thanks for coming in,
almost
brother.
nothing will happen the way you want it to if you don't force it that way. The enemy, nature, time, there's all kinds of things that are going against you. It's a losing battle. And if you don't use force of will, then you're not going to get it done. What it means is you need to make things happen. This is the good thing about being aggressive. Sure, there's certain parts of your nature that are aggressive, but it can also be trained. You can start to think with an aggressive mindset, which is I am going to take action. I'm going to overcome obstacles. I'm going to push through roadblocks. I'm not going to take no for an answer.
That's something that I battle with all the time because people say I'm a super aggressive person. And a lot of my life experiences and a lot of the things that led me to here are part of the reason. And I don't shy or I don't apologize really for it, for the reasons that I know how to survive, but also for the reasons that I know what's true to me. I know how I feel, and and we all know usually if what we're feeling is real or not. We just ignore the part that that tells us, oh, it's not. It's just a moment. It's just something circumstantial. It's just a point in time, and it'll pass. But we get locked in. Being aggressive is super dope. You can be aggressive in the wrong way, but again, if your aggressiveness comes from your desire to push forward, to be greater every day, to take action and get stuff done, you should never apologize for that. Just because other people fear that does not mean you're wrong. Just because other people aren't willing, like he just said, using your will to take the actions, they're not willing to do that, doesn't mean you have to not be willing to do it. Doesn't mean that you have to be apologetic about the fact that you are. Now, I will have to heed that as well to let you know that being aggressive can be a problem if you use it the wrong way. If you're abusing people, if you're running through them to get to certain places, and your mindfully intentful actions are that of, I'm going to take you out. I'm going to damage you, and I don't care because I want to get to where I want to get to at all costs. A lot of people do that. A lot of people forget and don't realize sometimes that that's what they're doing, is causing more destruction in order for them to live better, to be in better positions, to have more abundance and finances and experiences in life. That's why it's real difficult to play that game and balance it out. Real difficult.
And those are things that you can train. There's so often times where people, they get told no or they hit an obstacle and it's game over for them. They're just done. They're done training. They're over it. And your attitude, you have to go, okay. Little roadblock, cool. How am I going to get through it? How am I going to get around it?
What I need you to do is evaluate yourself today. Evaluate yourself to see where you are in this race of life. Many of you don't even realize that you've been racing to the finish line. This life is a race. Some of you need to be pushed to start running because you've been walking or you haven't been moving for so long. And you don't even know that you're in a race that all of us are competing to win. But it doesn't matter where you finish. It matters that you run after your goals and your dreams. The way to live is to run after your dreams, to run after your goals, and to run after that finish line. There may be things in your life right now that's holding you back from running, but you have to break through those things. They're there to hinder you, but you can't let it force you to stop running. Chase your dreams, chase your goals. I don't know the situation you're in right now, but the situation that you're in is not your future. It's not who you really are. It's not your full potential. The sky's the limit, but it all starts from within.
Think about that for a second. If you think about you having to live for every moment so that you can live and work on you, work on things you're working on, get to goals, that means that right now, this second, as I'm saying this, it's about to be the past. I'm done saying it. It's over. It's already in the past.
It's all up to you.
You should be a monster.
You have to be hungry for greatness.
I'm absolutely
Fucking
loving
commercials.
Bible in the Year.
You got to go through it to get to it. You got to understand that there are going to be many circumstances that will require your full, undivided attention. You got to go through it to get to it. You have to understand it has to be a unique mindset. Setting a goal and then going beyond it. Realizing that there's work to be done. Making sure that all of the strings are attached. And make no mistake along the way. Now, it's true that we all make mistakes. And we will have many setbacks. But there's always room for a comeback. To understand this, you must realize that you must humble yourself, but yet be hungry enough to go after it with everything inside of you. Everything that is required depends on you. Having the mindset that regardless of anything that is around you, that is surrounding you, that is trying to drag you down, you must have the mindset. You must be strong. You must be resilient. You must be driven. And you must be able to take whatever's coming at you. If you stumble, if you fall, have the ability to get up. But you can't depend on just your body to do the work. You must understand that it's the mental fortitude that will get you through it all.
Whew. Ain't that the truth? Ain't that crazy? Think about just being alive in general. The mind does not exist without the body, the vessel to hold it. The body does not move and act without the mind. The heart does not deliver and pump without the impulses and signals from the mind and the body. You want to get your mind right, get your body right. You want to keep your mind right, keep your body right. You know what I'm saying? You want to get your body right, get your mind right. Because if you don't got your mind right, when you go to do your weightlifting goals, your weight loss goals, whatever it is, you're going to give up and your body's going to suffer. If you get your body right, but you don't get your mind right, you're going to be looking good physically, but you're going to be in fucking chaos in your mind. You're not going to be thinking clearly. You're not going to be seeing things as they should be. That's some shit. That's some shit.
So many people don't have this fortitude. They don't have this attitude. They have no faith in themselves. If you as the individual can take the first step, then perhaps many more will follow.
Yep.
There's always going to be ups and downs in life, man.
And usually, Any artist will tell you this, whether you're a musician, painter, whatever. Any leader of great knowledge or wisdom who's been through it will tell you the same thing. You just got to get started. The first step is always the hardest. And then it's up to you to keep going. Take another step and take another step and take another step and take another step. You might get to a point where you're like, I'm not taking no more steps. I don't want to take no more steps. But then if you change that thought that you just heard, that voice in your head, because that's what you say to yourself, and then you say it out loud and you're talking to yourself, change that. Let me just take one more step. See how many times you can say that to yourself in that moment. Think that to yourself in that moment. And be surprised by how many steps you actually take after that point that you had the initial thought of, I'm not taking no more steps. I can't take no more steps. Then when you get to a point that you never thought you could be at, whether it was the one step more or a whole marathon later, you got to reflect on that and take a minute to appreciate that. Congratulate yourself, pat yourself on the back, and then realize that now your bar's been raised. So the next time that happens, you can know that you can help yourself take more steps and raise that bar yet again. And then yet again, and then yet again, and then yet again. We'll always be reaching, striving from that point. It becomes almost like an addiction. It's something you have to do. But why is that a bad thing at that point? Especially when it's making you better and those around you better or the world better. Because you keep taking those steps. Don't be ashamed of it. Don't feel bad about it. Just keep going. Start wondering why nobody else is doing it and taking those steps. Take a few more. Don't mind it. Work on it. Keep pushing. Keep trying. And take one more step. Take one more step. Take one more step. Make 1 more % better today. Make 1 more % better the next day. Make 1 more % progress the next day. Make 1 more % progress the next day. By the end of the week, you're at what? 7 to 10% extra, right? Then when you realize how easy it is to get that 1 more %, try to get 2% every day. Or go, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to raise the bar a little bit. I'm going to try to get 5% better every day. If you can try to get the 5% better every day, at the end of it, you're going to be astonished at how much further you could be than some of the other people that you're used to being around or that are keeping you in that old mindset. But then here comes the other caveat. That's the mind part. The physical's taking the action, and you're taking the action by taking those steps. Eventually, you need a little rest too. So don't forget to be mindful about the notion of going a little bit too far sometimes without recouping. You got to take a break every once in a while and give the body the rest it needs so it can heal. Because the body heals itself, and you have to control your mind to heal your mind so that they can work together and help that heart pump even harder. More oxygen comes in, your performance goes up, and then you achieve greatness. You may never achieve perfection, but I wonder just how far you could get if you just try a little bit every day. 1 more step. Jahan says, see, that's why I motivate. That's why I motivate my guys, because at the end, I build with my guys. So if I eat, my guy's going to eat. Rules OGs told me, and that's it. And that's it. And that's part of the notion of the old story of give a man a fish, he eats for a day. Teach a man to fish, he eats for life. Now that can even go further. Teach a man to fish, and he can feed his village. Teach a man to fish, and he can teach his village how to fish and get the food for now their village, for now their people. And it's crazy to think, but that's how business should work. And it's crazy to think that that's literally how business works in the hood. Because they give an opportunity. Some people take it, they take the risk. And I'm not saying that it's smart. I'm not saying it's what should be done. But if I always said, if dudes in the hood running their game, take that shit out of the hood and go put on a suit and tie or start doing something else to provide a service and value to people, could you imagine the good that could have been done instead of the damage that is done to communities? Instead of the damage that was done during the 80s, the crack epidemic, all this shit. Could you imagine how great things could have been for a lot more people? And it's our people. It's our village, our communities that they were doing it to. Just things to think about in different perspectives, because I know I can articulate a certain way and I present myself and I speak a certain way, but I also have certain experiences growing up in certain areas that allowed me to see things, to be around things, and I had to learn from things. You take some bumps and bruises, you learn some lessons, you learn shit from other people and their lessons, and you keep moving. But I always said, if you's doing dirt in the hood, if you took yourself out that hood and go and apply those same skills you was learning to do dirt to something of value to people, guess what? Your hood ain't gonna be your hood no more. You're gonna have a new hood, nice hood.
There's always going to be bumps in the road.
What up, bro?
Things that ain't going to go as planned. Unexpected stuff's going to happen. You're going to face some pain. You're going to face some tough times. And if you ain't trained your mind to be prepared for it and how to handle it, it's going to break you. The secret is to work on your mindset daily. Work on the way that you see the world. Otherwise, you'll live your whole life seeing the world through someone else's eyes.
And that right there is the problem with social media and consumerism, is that we end up living life through someone else's eyes and their opinions that influence us and change the ones we could have had we been in control of our own mind and our own thoughts. I know it sounds weird and hypocritical because here I am sitting on a camera talking to you on a stream saying these things, hoping that I influence you. But again, it's about how you use the power, how you use your aggression, how you use your resources to either pick and choose on that line which side you're going to be on. Joker or Batman? Goku, Frieza. I know later on in life, it seems they kind of learn their lessons and they become good and Goku makes friends with everybody or whatnot. Except for the Joker. The Joker doesn't become good. But there's also a great deal of like psychological things that go into the notion of Joker and Batman. And there's actually college courses on it, on the whole psyche of it. Give or take, no matter what, you got to look yourself in the mirror and understand what part you're playing, what your actions are doing, what your words are doing. And at what point and what time of the day did you maybe do shit the wrong way using the mindset of a villain or the mindset of a hero? And then you got to be careful and vigilant not to get lost in shit, feeling like you're always the hero so you get comfortable. And then you start taking actions thinking it's righteous and it's the right way. Because that's where the saying says, and Batman said it, or Gordon said it in the movie, live long enough to see yourself become the villain. That's why you got to be careful. Certain cop movies and shows, they'll say things along the lines of like, you know what's the difference between a criminal and a cop? One bad judgment call. You got to use your power, your mind in the right way at all times. And if you catch yourself slipping or somebody tells you who's good enough to be your friend or loved one that you're slipping, you're using it the wrong way, reflect on it for a second and realize if you are, if you aren't, and then make your choice.
You'll be a creature of circumstance. You'll be a victim of your life and not the master of it. Read books.
No, I'm live,
listen
brother.
to audios like this one. Start learning about why you do the things that you shouldn't do and why you don't do the things that you should. It's all
I just said that, right? Sitting there and reflect on the shit.
all because of the way that thing between your ears is wired. But know this, you're in control of rewiring it whenever you make the decision to do so. At any moment, you can take control back of your life and start creating the life that you deserve, not a life that someone else has paved out for you.
And that's it right there. Harvey Dent said that. You either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain. Thank you so much for, that's verbatim from the movie. And then like he just said here, you deserve not a life that someone else has paved on for you. We grow up with ideas and notions that our parents are giving us and our community and our village is giving us to try to make us as good as we can be in life. But then they don't realize all the circumstances that your life is dealing with and taking on. They don't realize the trials and tribulations that, although similar to theirs, are still different than theirs. They don't realize that that advice may not apply completely to the situation you're dealing with. And that's where it's important for you to have this mindset and intentionality in your thinking to look at things and use your perspective to really know what's true and real in your life and your reality so that you can make the best decision for you. Because I bet you anything, there's tons of people out there that have let a lot of people make decisions for them and wish their lives were different. Sometimes we get into things and it's unavoidable. You know, if you get yourself into some trouble, but even that's not unavoidable because we all make choices, right? But let's say situations go that way. Now you're being told what to do by a judge or a court system. Now you're being told what to do by the government. Now you're being told by what to do by outside individuals again. And maybe it's because you followed the different outside individuals as it was in the beginning instead of just paving your own way and figuring it out as you go. And it's hard to do because it takes a ton of mental fortitude, and it's scary to think, I don't know what the income's going to be whenever you make a decision. But most of the time, if we sit and think on it, we know and we can foreshadow and envision what the possible scenarios are. Sometimes that means that our fear plays against us and holds us back from doing certain things because we think it's going to end up at a spot. But then if we actually still take that risk and take that jump, a lot of the times we realize, yo, that's not as bad as I thought it would be. Or, hey, that didn't work out how I thought it would. Sometimes that goes on to the side of it just was a failure or it worked out really well. But either way, you got to take that chance. You got to see, because honestly, if you envision it, it may not come out that way. Or if you keep envisioning it, it's going to come out exactly that way, which also then plays again. We can keep envisioning the wrong thing, the outcome we don't want, which causes that to come out and be real. Or we can envision the outcome that we do want, which then causes that to come out and be real. Perspectives. I had a falling out with a friend on my soccer team. It was a heated and toxic one, but cooler heads prevail. Friendships never die. Just got to take your lumps and fix things. Exactly. Yo, for real, for real, for real, for real. That's it right there. You have to be able to, and this is where that saying comes from, be the better person, right? Be the bigger person. Well, it's not necessarily true that you're being the bigger person, but one or both of you or everybody involved needs to be able to humble themselves enough to realize that everybody played a role and took action and caused parts of it to occur. And at times it's okay to realize and stick to your guns on things and then agree to disagree, but you can't let it hold you in that spot and hinder it and let everything be a deal breaker or hold grudges over shit, because you never know the magic that you and a person can create together. You never know when you might need that person or the person might need you. That's temporary. That's circumstantial. That's momentary. And then you're going to allow it to affect a great span of time, a great span of a relationship. Everybody's so quick to cancel these days with the one thing that goes wrong, or they hear something about you and they judge you and this, that, and the third. Okay. Their choice. But I think they're doing themselves a disservice, and they're doing something against somebody that, if you want grace from somebody and you expect grace from somebody, when you make an issue arise and you fuck it up and you want people to allow you to make it right, then you better make sure that in every situation you come across, if somebody crosses you, if they make a mistake, you're not shunning them about it. You're not making them ashamed right away. Sometimes people need time to reflect and realize these things. It may not be right in the moment. It may be years later. But if you're the person on the end that played a role too, if that person comes knocking on the door and wants to say, I'm sorry, my bad, I finally realized what part I played in it, I fucked up, and you're not willing to hear it and accept it and receive it and then realize what your part was in it, to be able to do the same and say, yo, it's water under the bridge, hug it out, move forward, then guess what? You're always going to be burning bridges. You're always going to be losing out on this world and the greatness in it and the opportunities that can arise. But if the person's toxic and continues to be toxic, and you're in a certain mindset, in a certain space, you got to protect your energy, and you got to be able to just be like, hey, man, I don't wish bad upon you, but you go your way, I go my way. Good luck in it all. Thank you for the time and the interactions that we did have. Peace. And that's it. And leave it at that. Just keep it moving, keep it walking, keep it rocking. Let them go, keep them enjoying their life and doing what they feel they need to do for their life. And you go do yours. I'm glad you threw that out there, because that's big, especially for right now, the context of the stream and everything. Let's get back to it.
And when all of the struggle comes, all of the bad times, all of the dark times come around, which they inevitably will, you'll be strong enough to take it head on, and it'll make you rather than break you. You have greatness inside you, let me tell you. Unlimited potential. But you have to train your mind. Every single day, things are going to happen outside of your control. The weather, terrorism, coronavirus. But you can't control any of that shit. All you can control is how you choose to look at situations. You can control the information that you're letting in here. Never forget that you can have anything in this life that you want if you're willing to go and get it. You've got to have belief. You've got to have belief, and that belief comes from working on your mindset every single day.
Facts. Facts. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you it's going to be easy. No one will. It's exhausting at times. The worst part about it for me is that when situations arise and difficulties come to play, I have my hardest part about stuff like that is that it's hard sometimes for us as humans to realize the problem's the problem and not us and not the people. And then we have our own internal struggles and thoughts swirling, and now we compound the issue and we add to it. So half the time, just like these videos are kind of proven right now, and we're explaining as we talk about this and we're talking it out, half the time, we're always fighting ourselves. The different versions of ourselves from the past, the different versions of ourselves from that moment that just passed, the future versions of ourselves we're hoping to become, that we fear we may never become if we make the wrong choices. We're always fighting ourselves at times. And that's why it's important to find and hold on to the image of yourself in your mind, the notion of things that are important to you, like morals and ethos, you know, the things that you accept, the boundaries that you create, the things you are willing to accept and not accept, or do and not do. You know, a lot of people get lost in this thing of, oh, I'm not willing, I'm not doing that, I'm not doing that, I'm not doing that. And then they wonder why a lot of the times their life doesn't come out the way they think of it and intend it to. And they wonder why there's no abundance. They wonder why they lack. They wonder why they wish they had more. It's because a lot of the time, especially in the game of economics, your willingness to do things and act usually dictate the outcome, usually dictate your amounts, because that means you're limiting yourself or unlimiting yourself. You can either set boundaries and limits that are healthy and help you grow, or you can set boundaries and limits that hurt you, keep you stagnant, or put you back in places that you didn't even want to get, you know, be back in. In service, your willingness to say yes and perform and get the outcome is where a lot of the money is going to come from and flow from. Now, there's other things that play a role in that. It's also your intent. Because if you're doing it with the wrong intention, it may play out. You might get there, but there are things and baggage that come along with that, like resentment to the amount of money you make or the experiences you're able to have because X, Y, and Z. The friendships you may lose, the bonds, the time that you miss out by not realizing it and seeing those moments as they pass you by. It's a lot of things that go into it. Regret creeps up on you real fast. A lot of people that are rich are miserable, and it's because of these things not being in check all the time. Always being willing to do whatever it takes, no matter the cost or who gets in the way and gets hurt. Achieving those goals and then realizing it has to be sustained, so now that you hit that goal, you can't stop. And then when you realize it and you want to stop, you kind of can't, because you're kind of addicted to it. You're used to it. It's comfortable to you, but now you're uneasy about it. But fuck that. Let me keep going. I'm about my money. Let me get that. Man, nobody can say nothing to me. And you're basing that off of what? Most of the time, the image that other people have of you. Being better because of the things they have that you don't have, that now you want. And then you finally get it, and then what do? I got it, so big deal. You experience it, you have it, and then it gets tossed to the side most of the time. How many rich people have tons and tons of cars? You only get to drive one car at a time. Right? There's a lot of different things that come into play. A lot of different things. If you want it to be worthwhile, I know people that make $50,000, $60,000 a year that are completely happy and content, more so than people I know that make hundreds of $1,000s a year, have been working their own businesses, have a team that take care of it for them. Now they just reap the benefit and, cash out when they can and enjoy it all and have the experiences they want. But then they realize they're lonely. They realize they're sad. They realize none of it really matters. An episode occurs in their life that's real, life or death. A child gets sick. A parent dies. No one's around them to talk to, but they have a big bank account. They got tons of cars. They got people around them just for those reasons, just to try to use them and get a leg up, attached to their name for clout, use my followers or whatever. There's tons of different ways to do that. Or they just hook up to you to learn the game so that now they can go do it themselves and then don't even give you the respect or the flowers you deserve. Not saying that you got to be looking for it, but it's nice if somebody, learned from you, says, yo, thanks, teach, appreciate you. At the very least. It's a lot of shit. He says, have you heard the saying, your enemy would be your most loyal person? Yeah, and there's different aspects about that, about keeping your enemies close, your friends close, but your enemies closer. But to say that, yeah, most enemies end up becoming into this weird competition with you where they keep watching you or they stay lingering around just to see what you're doing, to try to figure out how to beat you. And they'll be around sometimes more than your family, more than your friends that fuck with you, that love you, supposedly. Well, not supposedly, but that claim to love you. That line of love and that word, to me, is one and the same. Because if you step over the line this way, you're loving, you're embracing, you're helping and uplifting. If you step over to this side, you're angry, you're in hate, you're downplaying, belittling, and destroying. You're working against the person. It's literally the same fucking spot, bro. How many relationships and women and boyfriends, girlfriends, wives, husbands, sisters, brothers, that jealousy reaps in, and then they start acting different, they start doing things different, they start doing things intentionally to hurt you. Why? At the same time, you get a hater coming through, a troll, this, that, and the third. That means you still love me. That means I'm still on your mind. You're still coming through. You're still showing up. Thank you. Appreciate you. Hope you get past whatever is making you act this way eventually. But I also am good enough to say, yo, I know what I did. I get why you responded to that. My bad. It's up to them now to go, you know what, my bad too. And if they don't, you can't get mad at it. Just let it be. Walk away. Turn around. Peace, man. I'll see you later. See you when I see you. Catch you on the flip.
But this. You can be a victim of your life or the master of it.
There is a self-destructive side of yourself. There is a self-destructive side to every single one of us. You can't be here without a shadow. There is no light without shadow. There is no being without shadow. There is no day without night. The self-destructive side of yourself is just as important and intricate to your wholeness as your seemingly more positive or resourceful side. Successful people don't make the right decisions. They make all kinds of bad decisions because successful people have shadows too. The difference between successful people and others is that successful people make their decisions right. And making your decision right begins with taking full responsibility, ownership, and loving your destructive side, your shadow side. Knowing thyself is first, foremost, primary, foundational, and means way more than anything else. When you're ready to be great, greatness shows up in front of your eyes.
Indulge in the pain. Feel the pain. If you've got a broken ankle, just feel the fucking pain. When you're working out, you just like, you want to die. Feel the death happening in you.
Let that shit out. Feel that shit. It's not wrong to be feeling. It's not wrong to be emotional. The problem ensues when you stay stuck in that feeling and that emotion. When you don't process it and move on. That's what holds us back. And no one else is in control of that. But you, yourself. Simple. Doesn't matter what the actions of another person are. It's you who's in charge of you and how you handle it. There's a saying that says life is 90% or 10% what happens to you, 90% in how you deal with it and handle it. You tell me if that's true or not. You tell me if there's ever been something bad to happen to you, and because you're reacting to it, it hurts more and more and longer and longer. It causes you to be angry at people. It causes you to not perform your best. It causes you not to think clearly. It causes you not to do the things that you love sometimes, or the things you need to do that you know you need to be doing. But if you handle it appropriately, your life feels so much different, so much better if you can accept it, take some action, move on. That sounds like a 90% how you act, how you deal, how you react, how you respond, than the 10% of the fact that it did happen to me.
Feel the pain happening in your legs as you rep out one more squat. Because it'll be all the more pleasurable when you reach the inevitable other end of the spectrum where you're laying in your hammock, sipping on a protein shake. Boy, I really went hard. I really went hard on that set. I really went hard in that relationship. I really went hard in school. I really went hard in my career. I really went hard in life.
And that's where that notion of giving it everything, no matter what you do, and I live by this, because no matter what you do, what your skills are, what your job is, if you don't want that position, somebody else wants it. Somebody else can be great at it. So either you show up and give it your all every fucking second and every day that you can. And I'm not saying that you're failing if you don't. We have off days. We got bad days. But the fact that you showed up means so much more than the fact that you're not performing at the top of your game. So if you don't want to do it, step out of the way so somebody else can do it. Stop being miserable at the situation. Get another job. Go work for another boss. Find a new relationship. But if you're willing to fight for it, if you're willing to change, if you're willing to adapt, you're willing to change your perspective and take different actions tomorrow or today, now that you see it or realize it, you're winning. The game is in check. Live hard, play hard, love hard. Do everything you can do every day because it matters, as hard as you can. Rest hard when the rest is there, when it's needed. Very, very important to be intentional, to be clear, to own up your part, to be accountable to not only yourself, but those around you and those you're interacting with. Lessons to be handed down from generation to generation. They're important, not to be forgotten. Traditions, identities. It's all important. Apply yourself. Be happy at the effort you put in, even if it doesn't work out to the way you thought. Be grateful for it. And what was here at the beginning here?
Where you're laying in your hammock, sipping on a protein shake. Boy, I really went hard. I really went hard on that set. I really went hard in that relationship.
And then since you left it all on the table, you left it all on the floor, right? We go into basketball, baseball, athletes. They say, I left it all on the field. Win or lose, that's all that matters. Because when you know what's true, and if you can 100% look yourself in the mirror and go, damn, man, you got nothing left. It doesn't matter if you got the dub or if you took the L. You know you at peace because you did everything you could. That's why some people, shit don't stick to them in the Teflon. It's not because they're slimy. It's because they're able to let go. They're able to do every second, everything that they do. They breathe with intent. They live with intent. They think with intent. They act with intent. And then when shit happens, shit happens. I did my part, though.
I really went hard in school. I really went hard in my career. I really went hard in life. Go hard.
Hey, you ever seen a wealthy
Shut
person,
up, Greg
a wealthy
Cardone.
family,
I don't need you right now.
Like, I got a jet. I'm sorry, you know.
I
You
want a jet too one day.
Die hard.
Making the right decision isn't about fixing yourself or remedying the problem. It is about self-acceptance first. When you can fully accept your shadow and all the things in them, they no longer manipulate you from the dark side, from your ignorance, from your unconscious. When I make this decision and I get this result, what is God trying to show me? What is my inner being trying to reveal to me? What part of myself have I denied and now is manipulating me from the underworld? Your shadows, your destructive side, those things that you have shoved down in your deep, dark unconscious, oftentimes contain the greatest gifts you've been given. Love your destructive side. Accept your destructive side. Remember that it is equal in part to your light side, and it will always be there.
Couple things from that there. That works on the notion of as above, so below, if any of you have ever heard that. Because when we're in our light side, we're still the same as we are in our dark side. The only difference is we're living in and taking action in that dark side instead of taking action in our light side. Some crazy shit. Crazy shit. It's one and the same. You are still that person. It is still the reflection. It is still you.
Now, we live in a world that causes us, forces us, conditions us to look outside ourselves for answers. This is normal and natural based on the conditioning we've received.
meaning that where I stand is never good enough because I need reference for that to be validated. I need, like you say, relationships, friends, family, school, and work. I need other people, other circumstances, other reflections to show me my worth. This is the fall of man. This is where we lose ourselves, and this is where we get knocked off of our ground, my man.
That's why it's important not to fall into the fucking trend of keeping up with the Joneses or worrying about and comparing ourselves to other people's lives, the things they have, the things we don't have, or the things we have and the things they don't have, thinking we're boosting ourselves up. Dangerous way to live, because it's destructive to not only you, but then the world that's around you and the people who rely on you, the people who see you in a certain light. A lot of times that might be where some people's imposter syndrome comes from. Maybe that's why a lot of the rich resent it or hate it. They don't like the fame. They want to be a regular person. But yet they do something so good that they can't deny it and gotta keep doing it because they get caught up in that notion of the lifestyles, the material. That's one of the reasons why I super value and like respect Keanu Reeves. Because this guy has made it how far in his life with no actual scandals. And this dude donates a big part of his life away, monetarily, unselfishly. And gives himself still to people and the fans through his films and his acting and his trade. And he's had some hard shit happen to him that most people would break over and never come back from. Some good shit.
It is never our job to get anyone else to believe in, trust, or accept our stance. It's never our job to be right. It is always our job to be true.
And that right there made me come back, because when I heard that, that's the problem with looking for people for validation when you do something. Whether you're a content creator, you're trying to be an influencer, it shouldn't be because you're looking for the validation or that money. You know what I mean? That's the byproduct of it. But the true validation comes from yourself, from within. When you know what's true, when you know who you are, when you know your heart's beating the right way because of the actions you're taking. When you're not living in fear because you think you took an action that you know you probably shouldn't have, and your intuition told you probably shouldn't have done that. Stop looking for everybody else to understand and approve the shit you do. Just make sure that you're making the right choice for you. And make sure that you're not causing destruction in that process. That's how you know you've made the right choice and the right decision. When you do something and nobody gets hurt and it's only a benefit to those who are involved, you're on the path.
If those bad memories come and you notice that an anxiety rises in your belly and chest, then the time is now to do something physically to expel it, to exercise it. When you see greatness in anyone, what you're seeing is your own self-power personified right before your eyes. I am you, you are me. Together we rise. It doesn't matter if the world is crumbling down around you. It doesn't matter what's happening. You gotta look outside the box. Where are the warriors that say, I'm gonna make a decision and I'm keeping it? Devotion, discipline. Devote yourself to something bigger. Be decisive about what you're gonna do. Say, I'm gonna do it and that's it. And then be disciplined about getting it done every single day, whether you feel like it or not.
You can take things you love, you can take things that you've learned, you can take your passions, your hobbies, your knowledge, your wisdom, even experiences that you've been through, and you can turn them into an online business that can make your money on the internet. What's up, y'all? My name is
And so, yo, guys, the reason why I'm saying this stuff and I'm so able to is because this is literally some of the stuff that I'm going through right now and I have been going through. That's making realization come to this light. That's making me realize that the hardships I'm facing because of the choice I've made to do this and be a content creator and be a streamer, be a reviewer, be a human on the internet is causing me to deal with certain things that come along with it. Hardships, difficulties, stress. And it's important that I've always been a person that if I can offer help or guidance, if I got a bump or a bruise someone else can learn from, then I'm going to offer it up and provide it. You know, a lot of these insights have been things that I've been realizing and coming to realization of throughout the last, I don't know, probably 10 years of my life, but it's been super big and strong in the last 3 to 4 years of my life, let's say. And it's gotten even stronger in the last year and a half or so. I definitely had to relearn myself. And people always say, oh, I lost myself. I lost myself. And it's not that you lost yourself. It's just that you stopped paying attention to it. You just stopped realizing or listening to that feeling, the intuition, the things that you know you should be saying or doing. I didn't lose myself. I didn't refine myself. I just stepped back into myself. I'm now allowing me to be me again. I'm now allowing me to not be shameful at the fact that I am me. Appreciate you, Lounge. You know, so never feel like you're lost, because guess what? You never truly lost. Never truly lost. But anything that is lost can be found too. So there's always hope in that aspect and regard as well.
You will always be left with what you came here with, which is the passionate blueprint of your authentic self-expression found in your heart.
Thank you, Lounge.
My man. Awesome. That is the journey. The journey isn't to stack your bank account or to stack toys. That's the lie. That's what we've been fed. That's what we've been told. That is a byproduct.
Trying to get me in the frame.
Of one of two things. Either lying to yourself and lying to the world and sacrificing your soul so that you can have those things, hoping that they will bring you joy and pleasure, or living authentically. And when you live authentically, those things will either be added to you because that's a part of your path, or they won't. And you got to be okay with that. Because if you're focused on the outcome rather than the journey, rather than the art, rather than the self-expression, the poetry, the authoring of your own life, being the authority of your own life, you're going to be living as a shell of yourself. It might be a shiny, flashy, expensive shell, but just a shell, my friend. If you're being yourself and being your truth, you have no desire to push anybody else off of their truth or try to bring them onto your truth with your righteousness.
Every single limitation that you have is designed to make you a bit stronger, either by teaching you how to move over, around, or through a brick wall, or shedding light, becoming enlightened about your shadows. You want to live a big game, you got to figure yourself out. You got to start dealing with yourself objectively. If you know you're fearful, get very clear about what you're fearful about, why you're making choices in your life based on that fear, and then face that fear.
I had an experience once where we were doing a team. It was a birthday for a family member / team building experience where me and my family and business partners ended up going up to what's up here, Lake George. We rented a boat. We went to a park, rented a section of the park to kind of get everybody together, have the celebration, you know, pay our dues to the work we've been doing, highlight the employees, thank them for it. And part of the position there in that spot was when you're on the boat, they take you to the tour around the edge of the ocean, the lake. They show you different spots, historic things, and then they let you get off at one point to climb up this small mountain to be able to jump down into the lake, you know what I mean? And I got stuck. I got froze. I don't like heights. And here I am going through a time in my life where I put everything else aside, got rid of all my fears to take a risk and build something new, and it was working. And this was the time to reflect and, you know, appreciate it. And then put myself in a position again where everybody's having a good time and I get to face a fear of heights and just take the leap. I was able to do it many times, but never physically. So when I saw that and I caught myself getting stuck up there, everybody's trying to egg me on and encourage me and get me to jump. And so I have that thrill, that experience, and that notion that hits you when you tell yourself you're going to do it, you do it. And then in the process of the drop, the feelings, and then when you hit the water and it's over and then you come back up, that excitement, that rush. I was stopping myself from all of that just because of the 1 second that I was thinking about the action of jumping and the fear of what happens if I hurt myself. Oh, it's so high. It's when I've seen already 10, 15 people at that point take that leap. Not only did they take that leap there in that moment, they took that leap with us in the business. Now, how the fuck does that look with me standing up there worried about hitting some water? I had to realize that. Even though it took me some time while I was up there, I finally did it. I finally jumped. The next lesson that came was, since I got past it, the thrill was there. It felt great to accomplish it, face my fear, hit that shit, enjoy that splash, come up. Then I learned and realized in that moment that I can't do it again because I wasted so much goddamn time up there thinking, watching everybody else do it 2, 3 times, 4 times, and I only got to do it the one time because I held myself there for so long because the boat had to leave. There's always an opportunity and a lesson, bro. Always an opportunity and a lesson.
You think yourself as a loser. You really do. That's why you can't win. Oh, I don't feel so good today. Get your lazy, sick ass up out of bed.
Yep, and once you do that, if you thinking of yourself that way, imagine what other people are perceiving you as. And that matters to you, right? So why not take the actions to have them perceive you in the way you want to be perceived? The same way you see yourself. The only way people see you in that way, in that light, is if you're believing it yourself and you're acting that way. You're taking the actions to be perceived that way. You're reminding yourself that that's what you are, because then that's what they see and that's how they know you are. That's how they perceive you. Just like me on top of that hill. They saw me being weak. They saw me being scared. And I'm not mad at that. I'm fine with being vulnerable. I'm mad that for these people, especially who saw me as like a dude that takes risks, knows there may be consequences and just fucking does it and tries it anyway and gets to the point that it worked or it doesn't work and that he makes it work. That hurt more to me, that the things they perceived me as before that I was matching with my actions now got negated, and now I planted a little bit of something doubt in their heads about who and what I really was. That's what bothered me. Because I was also feeling that, and I was also thinking that. That's what truly bothered me.
Take those very things that you've been resisting. Look at them, question them, look at them from multiple different angles, and then integrate it into your wisdom, into your being.
You made your bed, now you gotta sleep in it. Just be okay with that. Take responsibility for that. Don't feel sorry for yourself. Feel empowered by the fact that you are a creator in your life. You're a manifester of circumstances. You did something and you made something happen.
Cause and effect, ebb and flow, reactions. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. There's evidence of it everywhere. Whether you're scientific or you're spiritual, whether you don't believe in none of it and you just look around and see what happens when you say, well, what the hell did you think was going to happen? It's because whether you want to believe it or not, you believe it and you see that it's real and it's true.
Every moment comes with its yin and yang. Every moment comes with its light and dark. Every moment comes with its good and evil. The idea is to be fully present in the moment so that you can experience it all in its rawness, in its intensity, in its purpose. Each moment, its purpose is itself.
We're not needing to do anything more. We're needing to get out of the way and let our truth shine through.
Always go to virtues. Always go to character. Always go to who you're not being or who you're being.
Open up to your intuition. Open up to your higher consciousness. Open up to your truth and stop letting fear-based consciousness based on past shit keep you stuck, bro. You gotta breathe.
I want to feel life. That's why I'm not afraid of pain. That's why I'm not afraid to take risks. Not because I'm courageous, but because I'm crazy about life. I love the rain. I love the elements. I love the way it feels on my body, man. When I see people afraid of the rain, I say, boy, you're afraid of life.
That's facts right there. My girlfriend took some pictures of me one day. It was torrentially downpouring. And I took off my shoes, my socks, opened the back door, go down the steps. I'm smelling the rain, and then all of a sudden I just run out into the middle of the field, and I just fucking hold my hands up and let the rain come down. My eyes are closed, and I'm just feeling something. It's just different. And I'm glad she got that video and those pictures. Because that right there set in my mind a reminder that it's nothing to fear. Yes, lightning can strike me, but it's nothing to fear. Embrace the shit that happens. Enjoy it. Appreciate the fact that we have changes in weather, cycles and seasons, ebbs and flows of pain and happiness. It all balances. It all equals something. It all matters. Cause and effect. It rains. The sun comes out. The water hits the dirt. The dirt fertilizes the roots and the seeds in the ground, which lets plants and vegetation and trees grow. It lets new life come up and come out. It lets roses bud. It lets bees buzz. It lets insects fly, ants crawl, gather. Creates honey with the bees. We can enjoy honey. It's all a part of it. Without rain, there is no sunshine to be appreciated. Without sunshine, we don't appreciate the rain.
They got you pegged as a loser, bro. They got you pegged as a loser, sis. But what they fail to realize is that your internal will is strong as steel, and even if the playing field is not even, you will never surrender until there is absolutely no air left in your lungs. See, they didn't realize that every setback, they didn't realize that every bad day, they didn't realize that every sad day, they didn't realize that every so-called failure, disaster, missed opportunity, or tragedy was just a building block of strategy. And the agony, the pain, the heartache, the misery was put in place to give you the strength to rewrite history.
Yep. I went through a bunch of shit, came out of it, started this journey. Now my circle's molding. I just did something great the other day with a charity stream. Helped be a part of raising and feeding kids lunches. Also cut off all my hair to donate it so a wig could be made for somebody who needs it. You gotta get there. You gotta go through it. You gotta be willing to. So now I got the opportunity for my hair to reset, grow again, be beautiful, change my look and my perception, even of myself, which now I feel like I'm more in tune of what I always saw myself as much as I love my hair and my mane. Yeah, like my brain, the image of myself in my brain is now matching my physical. I'm not 100% to where I want to be as far as my weight goals and strength goals, but I'm still getting there. I'm way further than I was a while ago, and I've ebbed and flowed my whole life with my weight and health. But now this is the most consistent it's been in the last for the last 3 or 4 years. That's a huge accomplishment that I wasn't even realizing until the other day when I cut my hair and I did that stream. It's crazy how that works sometimes.
Therefore, it should be no mystery when you make a special delivery to the doorsteps of victory. See, once again, my friend, some of you out there are still in the dark. And I get it. You need a boost. You need a spark. So let this serve as your spark to help bring you out of the dark, because I need you to be hungry like a shark. So please, turn the lights on when I'm talking to you, because I said they didn't realize that every setback of your life, they didn't realize that every bad day of your life, they didn't realize that every sad day of your life, they didn't realize that every so-called failure, disaster, missed opportunity, a tragedy was just a building block of strategy, and the agony, the pain, the heartache, the misery was put in place to give you the strength to rewrite history. Therefore, it should be no mystery when you make a special delivery to the doorsteps of victory.
I got you. I'm sorry. So I like that there, and I paused that there because my 5-year-old nephew, his dad, instills these certain things in him and talks to him, right? And he teaches him these things that he's learned in life. And it taught me something, and it reminded me of something. He always asks him whenever the kid feels nervous or he seems like he's unsure of himself or if he gets hurt, he looks at him and he says, "Hey, what have I told you about fear and pain?" And the kid will look up at him and say, "It's temporary, Daddy." He looks back at him and says, "All right, so are we going to keep feeling that? Are we going to keep crying about it? Or are we going to do something about it?" And the kid will say, "Can we do something about it?" And then they go, either get the Band-Aid, the ice, give it the kiss on the hand, you know? And that makes me, I had to remind myself that that is fucking 100% true. And that's how it goes. Every time you hit a point that you're hurt and you cry, every time you cut yourself, you get a bump or a bruise, every time you're scared about something, that moment only lasts for a moment or only a specific amount of time, because you can get hurt severely and be down for a long time, but you can also rehabilitate and come across that and get past that. Sometimes people need to learn how to re-walk or relearn how to walk. Sometimes people need to relearn how to talk. Sometimes people need to relearn how to do motor skills like move their arms or write or, speak a certain language. Sometimes people have to rework their memory. And then with the fear, we watch movies and TV, they incite these feelings in us, and yet we don't really get stuck in them. It might plant a seed or, remind us of things that have us feel the same way we would or did in a situation we were in where we were scared, but at the same time, that moment passes. We continue watching the movie. Sometimes we get scared and we laugh afterwards. So if you always remember that everything you go through is for a reason, you respond to it appropriately, and every time you feel scared or you feel hurt, you remember that you can heal, you can grow, you can move forward, and you cannot be scared, or you can overcome that fear, I think a lot of people would be unstoppable in the notion of chasing their dreams, becoming the greatness that they think they are and see themselves as they are in their minds, that other people see them as. That's when you really start to get out of your own way. It's kind of me right here, right now on the stream, live in front of you as I went through today and this whole journey talking about all this stuff. I literally had walls breaking down. I was crying earlier. I was, you know, there's, you go through it. There's progress. Imagine if I was still scared of public speaking. Imagine if I was still scared of being the guy or relied on. Imagine if I was still scared of sharing my message or sharing my thoughts. Or even hearing yours and learning or talking to you about it. This obviously would not be happening right here, right now. I wouldn't be a gamer. I wouldn't be a streamer. I wouldn't be a content creator. I wouldn't be a reviewer. I wouldn't be a personality. I wouldn't have been in retail and services like I was prior in my life. You overcome those things. You learn and you keep moving. And sometimes we don't recognize that we've done that. Every moment's just a moment. Everything you fear, everything you feel is just a moment. It's momentary. It passes. It's us that needs to control that we don't just keep falling back into it and using it as an excuse or reliving it over and over and over again and staying in a loop. That's when you get stuck. That's when you get depressed. Depression leads to disease and anxiety leads to it. Helps your body manifest things. All starts with the mind, because if the mind's not right, the body's not right. If the body's not right, the mind's not right.
And you will, because you have been patiently waiting for this moment, cultivating and calculating, using the pain of your life to derive the energy from what was once a deprived and wasted synergy, because your own worst enemy has always been you, but no longer. The days that used to be sad and blue are now giving way to the days of the new you that has grown and grew to new heights and clear skies that are sunny and blue.
I said that shit earlier in the stream. It's crazy that that shit came up here. Now, I just go through and I pick a bunch of different videos for these Motivational Mondays and I put them in a playlist. So pretty much 90% of the time, it started with me using videos that I knew. But then I'm like, let me just build shit and go. Because my intent is to produce these and put these out for you guys. And for myself. Because like I said, I do a lot of reflection through these streams, through these videos that I make. So it's awesome that I said that, because then that gives me validation now that it just said that and delivered the message again. It reinforces it. Got to be able to let yourself be you. Get out of your own way. Stop being your own worst enemy. There's plenty of people and plenty of circumstances and things out there that are going to do that. You don't need to be adding to it. You don't need to be the worst of them all. Love yourself.
You made the choice to clear your old canvas. And with a fresh set of mental paintbrushes, you drew your desired outcome and took the necessary steps to make sure it came true. For so long, you've known you had an inner beast inside. But you were scared to bother it. For so long, you've known you had an inner beast inside, but you were scared to bother it. That's just like planting a seed and then never watering it.
But why does it do that? Why do you do that? It's because you're scared of what it is. You're scared you may not be able to handle it. You're scared of what you might actually become. You don't know if you'll be able to control it or harness it. I promise you, you can. I absolutely do promise you, you can. Every one of us can. Every one of us should. We owe it to the world. We owe it to ourselves. Don't be scared of beast mode. Just don't use beast mode the wrong way. And fix it if you do.
Never making sure it's provided with exposure to sunlight, basically just squandering it.
I'm absolutely loving Bible in the...
Yeah, you got to realize that the sun is one of the greatest providers of vitamin D and other nourishment throughout the entire planet. Not only can it burn you, it can help you heal. Big shit.
But that version of you no longer exists. Because from the depths of your inner soul comes your inner beast, and you are now honoring it. That seed that was planted in your soul has been patiently waiting. That seed that was planted in your heart has been laying low for the perfect time.
Yep.
That seed that was planted in your spirit has been storing energy. That seed that was planted in your mental has been digesting and processing. And when all of these forces came together, they created the perfect storm that set the stage for your inner beast to be born. That set the stage for your inner beast to take form. That set the stage for your inner beast to transform. That set the stage for your inner beast to break through and swarm like a large group of bees. And now you're ready to sting anyone that stands between you and the stamp of greatness needed to make your successful transformation efficient.
What I like to say that seed does when it germinates and grows and blooms, instead of it producing a fruit or a vegetable, it breeds the warrior. The person who can be peaceful during peacetime but strong enough to go to war. The person who can go to war to defend, uphold, protect, and provide safety for people and its family and its village, but also ends up being in the field that helps plant more seeds to grow more fruits, vegetables, sustain and help the village stay healthy, happy, fed, not hungry, can help maintain peace through fighting against and wavering against things like greed, because it can provide. There's a saying that says it's always better to be a warrior in the garden than a gardener in the war. A gardener has no clue what to do in war. Will freeze, doesn't know how to use the tools or the weapons. But a warrior has enough strength and power to control that for only the time necessary, but can be delicate enough to breed, grow, germinate, take care of, provide life, and nourish life. Big shit. Big shit.
So if you have any doubts, let them fizzle. Because now you're locked in on your target like a missile. Wait a minute. Make that a heat-seeking missile. Because you're so hot that you sizzle. And your vision is so clear that it's crystal. You now realize that any limitations you ever placed on yourself were always mental. See, so many of us experience an extended pregnancy as it relates to giving birth to our dreams, our gifts, our true self-worth, and ultimately our legacy. But our inner beast is way overdue to be unleashed to the world. And thus, it went from a gentle rub to a light tap, to a subtle kick, to a strong push, to a stronger kick, and even a stronger push. See that desire that's telling you to get up and go do? That's your inner beast. The passion to keep pushing through, that's your inner beast. That voice in your head that's telling you to believe, that's your inner beast. That yearning you have deep inside to achieve, that's your inner beast. The mental toughness to fall down 9 times and get back up 10, that's your inner beast. The resiliency to fight to the end, that's your inner beast. The heart you display to persevere through the dark days, that's your inner beast. The fear you overcame to lead and trailblaze, that's your inner beast.
One thing that I've learned is if you know you're true to yourself and doing the right thing and you're doing things as best as you can, when people call you crazy, when people say you shouldn't be doing that, you should be doing this, when people say, what's wrong with you? Why are you doing this? Why aren't you doing that? When you feel good about what you're doing and you never have that notion, and it's not, again, not destructive, it's not hurting nothing, I think that's when that clicks and you realize that that's your inner peace. That just because they're not doing it and they're not willing to, or they're scared of it, so they choose other options, that's when you know you're probably on the right path for you, because it's your path, it's not theirs.
Listen to me. Your inner beast is waiting patiently for you to release it to the world.
I'm the strongest Sanders in the family. The hope.
I'm going to be ending this stream in about 10-12 minutes here, guys. So let's make the best of these last messages coming up. Let's stay with it. If you guys need to revisit it, besides the stream being on the platform it's on right now, wherever you're watching me, it's always going to be on the YouTube channel as well, under the live section. And I'll probably add it to the Motivational Monday playlist that I have. So enjoy.
On 3, beast
Don't
mode.
forget to sub.
1, 2, 3. No, come on. 1, 2, 3. Come on. 1, 2, 3.
Don't give up. Don't give up on your dreams. Don't go pick it back up. There's a dream you left 2-3 years ago. Somebody told you you couldn't do it, and you internalized that foolishness. Stop listening to the haters. Shut them down. Shut them up.
Yep.
You want to shut your haters up? How do you do it? You do it by being successful.
You take the actions. You don't let yourself become complacent. You don't let that fear in. You don't let their fear in. You never stop. You keep pushing regardless of the fact. Keep going. Keep breathing. Keep thinking. Keep praying. Keep eating. Keep sleeping. Keep focused. Never give up. Never give up. Or else you will never live the dream that you have.
You don't do it by falling into their traps, doing what they want you to do, putting your head down. You don't do it by not being successful. Let me tell you what I learned. Nothing succeeds like success. And so pick your dream back up. Pick your goals back up. Kill a noise. Shut them down. And surround yourself with people who will help you, who will speak life into you and not death. People who will speak life into you and help you to get from where you are to where you want to be. It's your boy, E.T. Remember, I don't care nothing about your past, because I got one too. Listen to me. You have the opportunity right now to make the rest of your life the best of your life.
Bam! I think that's a good spot right there, as a matter of fact, to end this stream for Motivational Monday. I'm not going to play any more of this video. I'm going to tell you what. I'm going to save this one and this spot. 24 minutes, 56 seconds. I'm probably going to bring this video back up at another time to revisit it and keep going through the rest of it, because this one has another 30 minutes to go. But right now, before I leave you here, because I'm leaving at about in 5 minutes or so, 5 or 6 minutes. I didn't realize what time it was. Yeah, about 5 minutes, 6 minutes. Did you enjoy this here? Are you grabbing anything from this? Is this helping reinforce things that you've already thought about? You felt? Is this helping give you some validation to some of your thoughts and feelings? That's going to help you move in the right way now? Or keep you moving in the direction you're going? Is this helping pull you up and pull you out? Are you feeling the fire start to ignite? Because I'm fucking grateful for the opportunity to do this. I'm grateful to take this time to do this reflection with you, because this is my therapy. Tell me, what are you feeling? And then what are you going to do? What are your options? What are the choices you're about to make? Tell me, are you going to go sit down and think of a plan to change whatever it is you want to change? And then are you going to actually stick to it and keep reinforcing it with videos like this, with streams like mine, the Motivational Monday? Do you have passion? Do you feel my passion? Do you hear it in my voice? Do you feel the authenticity of this and the realness of it? Because those who know me in real life know this is it. This is me. This is the Chris. I've always been me. I will always be me. I'm just a new version of me every day now. Every day that I can be. It was every other season. It was when I allowed myself to. But every single day right now, I'm waking up and realizing I'm a new me. Every second, I'm a new me, because that's in the past, the old me. If you down with that notion, if you think like that, if you want to start thinking like that, if you really enjoy this, make sure you let me know. I need to hear it. I want to hear it. I think you need to read it. I think you need to see it and hear it yourself. Because just like the image we're made in, you're just as great. You're just full of all that love too. It's just tough in the day and age that we live in right now, with the struggles in society and economics and politics. But all those things are man-made. All those things are influences made to guide you or have you do certain things a certain way, to keep certain systems in place. But then again, they're also made to offer you a little bit of peace of mind and security. Are you ready to make the rest of your life your best life? Like E.T. just said. Whether you catch this on the replay, whether you go over to the YouTube channel and watch it later, whenever it is, years, months, don't be afraid to write something down in the comments. Get it out so that you can move forward and be great. Everybody, my name is the Worst Damn Gamer Ever. Stream here Mondays for the Motivational Monday, Tuesdays and Thursdays for Horror with Sir Sturdy, Fridays for Mother Fort and Fortnite Friday, Saturdays with Popcorn and Pints. You can catch me on the Sea Snobs every once in a while, especially on Mick at Night Friday nights. And I hope you catch me here on my channels, on my streams, over on TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, everywhere that I am, everywhere that you are. And I hope you find some peace and some prosperity knowing you're doing it. And you're doing it as best you can. Love you. Remember, in order to be the best, sometimes you gotta be the worst. Talk to you soon. Peace.